Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about and giving my little review and opinion on the new 2023 live action The Little Mermaid that has just come out. So obviously it is very well known that Disney is doing these live action remakes, and I definitely see more hate towards them than love towards them. I don't think it's unfair, but I do also think is like kind of justified, because it's like, hey, we want some new content, we want some original stories. Very fair. I love Disney original stories and I would love to see some more of those. However, with that being said, I have absolutely loved so many of these live action movies that have come out. Obviously, they are not perfect, but neither are the animated versions or anything. Like, I really loved the live action Cinderella and the live action Beauty and the Beast. And my favorite one is the live action Aladdin, which I know not a lot of people like, but it is my favorite out of all the live actions that have come out. So as much as I would love to see more original content from Disney, I'm not hating these live action remakes. I'm not hating them. And with that being said, this new movie, The Little Mermaid, has definitely fallen amongst my top like 3 or 5 live action remakes. I absolutely loved this movie. I was really nervous when they announced that they were doing a live action Little Mermaid. I was really nervous that like all the scenes that are filmed in the water would look really fake. And then back, I don't know, in like December or January or something, when we saw Wakanda Forever, and there's so many underwater scenes, I left that movie feeling a lot better towards my thoughts towards this movie, because they have tons of underwater scenes in Wakanda Forever, and I think they are really well done. And so I left Wakanda Forever liking Wakanda Forever, but also having more hope towards this movie. That was the main thing I was really nervous about, was the underwater scenes. And I think they did such a good job. I mean, obviously there's only so much you can do, because obviously they can't film these scenes actually underwater, because characters like Ariel have to sing and all the other mermaids have to, you know, have conversations and speak and stuff like that. So obviously they can't film these scenes actually underwater. So with what they were able to do, I think they did such a good job, and I think it looked really good. And I think all the animals looked so cool. I loved the under the sea scene where there's just all the different creatures swimming around. I also obviously loved the scene with the shark. I saw this movie with my sister and she was not thrilled when she found out that Awkwafina does the voice of Scuttle. No reason at all, except for the fact that Awkwafina was very recently in Raya and the Last Dragon as Sisu, and my sister's kind of like, why don't they hire some new people? Like, why does it always have to be the same people over and over again? However, I think Awkwafina was fabulous as Scuttle. She did such a fun job. I know that was one thing in the animated, Scuttle was a boy, so why in this one is Scuttle a girl? But she's a bird. She can be whatever she wants to be. Like, it doesn't matter. My friend mentioned this to me, and she said she liked the fact that they changed Scuttle from a seagull to a gannet. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I googled it, a northern gannet. I like that they did that, because gannets are able to actually go underwater and they can actually like be underwater for a little bit of time. So it made the scene where Ariel like breaks through to the surface a little bit more impactful, because in this movie her father, King Triton, always says like, don't go to the surface, don't go past the surface, and so because Scuttle is a gannet and is able to go in the water, she never actually like breaks the surface and like gets above water. And so it just made the scene where she does break through the surface and does go above the water, it just made it feel like more impactful, which I really liked. Jacob Tremblay as Flounder, amazing as always. I think he is such an amazing actor, especially for his age. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. David Diggs as Sebastian, amazing. I also really liked Javier Bardem as King Triton. I know people were like confused why he was casted as King Triton, like how is he Ariel's father kind of a deal. But when you watch the movie, it's actually really interesting, because all of King Triton's daughters are all different races from all across the world, and they kind of like are representing different seas, and I thought that was brilliant and I loved that. So it makes sense, and again, they're mermaids, they're mythical creatures, it doesn't matter what race they are. The only actress I was like kind of like skeptical about, and only because she's just not my favorite actress in the whole entire world, and that was Melissa McCarthy. I think she's hilarious, she's just not my favorite. I was just wondering about her as Ursula, but I think she did good. If anything, she was like my least favorite part of the movie, but that's not saying she did a bad job. She still did a really good job. I really liked her. She had some moments in the movie that I very much related to. I liked her. Jonah Hauer-King played Prince Eric, and I think he did a really good job. Did I mention? I don't know. I've already had to cut and restart this like 4 times. He got his own song in this movie. It's called Wild Uncharted Waters, and it's really good. I like it. I can't say this without making it sound bad, but I don't mean this in a bad way at all. But I thought Prince Eric was just like so nerdy and so adorable, and I mean that in the best way. I loved him. I thought he was so cute. I thought he did such a good job, and I really just liked what they kind of like added to Prince Eric in this movie. I loved it. When I say nerdy, I mean that in the best way. Like, I love nerdy things, so I mean that in the best way. I thought he did an incredible job. Like I said, I really liked what they added to his character, that he like kind of wants to explore the world and stuff. And I liked that him and Ariel had that they kind of like bonded over, that they like want to see more than just kind of what they're like confined to. The scene where Ariel is in like his office where he keeps all his treasures, I thought that was adorable, and I loved that. And I loved that they like spent the whole day together like looking at maps and all his things, and I loved that. I thought that was so cute, and it added like another layer to their relationship. And now I want to speak about Halle Bailey, because I think she did an incredible job as Ariel. Oh my goodness. I have seen Halle Bailey sing before. The only thing I have seen her sing in was her and her sister Chloe were on an episode of Austin Alley, I think back in like 2013. So obviously like a long time ago. And that's the only time I have ever seen her sing. And when I watched that episode at that point in time, because it was like within like 3 years-ish time frame that I did see that episode of Austin Alley. And so at the point when I was watching this episode, it had already been announced that she would be playing the live action Ariel. So I remember watching that episode and seeing her and just like instantly being like, she looks familiar, because obviously there had been so much promotion about her being casted as Ariel. So I looked it up and I figured out that that was her. And so I rewatched like her scene again. And even then, when it was like potentially 2013 that she was on this show, she had an incredible voice. And so I was like, okay, I have always said that I really think Disney is incredible at casting their films, and so I never had any doubt in their choice to cast her. But hearing her sing, and again, it was like 10 years ago that she had performed on this show, I was like, she is incredible. And I'm pretty sure her role, she just sung, like they didn't speak or anything. And so hearing her actually speak in the movie, she just has this perfect, like loving, adorable, magical voice that just fits the role of Ariel absolutely so perfectly. I thought she was brilliant. I thought she was so perfect and amazing in this role, and I could not have been happier. I actually didn't watch the trailers or anything leading up to this movie. I know she performed somewhere Part of Your World. I know that video is available somewhere on the internet. I know Sam wanted to show it to me, and I said no, I don't want to see it, because I just like want to go into this movie not really knowing anything about her singing or her voice or anything. Like, yeah, I saw her sing in Austin and Alley, but that was in 2013. So it was like 10 years ago that she was in that show compared to now. So I just wanted to go into this movie completely unaware of her voice, unaware of her singing or anything, and she blew me away. she was so perfect for this role. Like, I can't even believe it. Also, just a side note, I love that Jodie Benson had a cameo in this movie because Jodie Benson is iconic. So I loved that she had a role, and I loved that it was like very small, but I loved that it involved a dingle hopper. Obviously, like, I loved the casting in this movie. I've gone on for like, at this point, 16 minutes about just the actors and stuff in this movie. It's really hard for me to pick something I didn't like. I didn't love the like Scuttlebutt song. It wasn't my favorite. It was fun and it was cute, and I'm sure kids love it, but I loved Part of Your World. I loved all the original songs from the animated into this movie, and I loved the new songs. So Ariel got a new song. Eric got a song. I mentioned that he had his own song, and I just loved it. I think they were so good. I literally like just filmed my Disney Movie Club video a little bit ago where I got Ant-Man Quantumania, and I was saying how I didn't see that in theaters, and I also haven't seen the new Guardians of the Galaxy in theaters, and mostly because I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to not go to movies so much, especially when I know I'm gonna like buy them for my collection and whatnot. But like this movie, obviously I had to go see in theaters, and like I am really struggling to not just like take myself on a date to see that movie again in theaters. And the thought of having to wait months for it to come out on DVD to watch it again is like kind of tearing into my soul, because I want to watch it again so bad. I've obviously already downloaded all the music from it. Like, we walked out of the theater, and on the walk to the car, I was already downloading the music onto my Apple Music. I'm really nervous because, like I said, I've had to cut this like 4 times, so I don't know what I have and haven't said. So hopefully I've talked about everything I kind of wanted to talk about. I loved so much about this movie. Songs, the computer animation of the underwater scenes. Ursula looked amazing. Their mermaid tails looked beautiful and amazing. All the animals looked incredible. I just loved it. I loved it so much. I want to go see it again. I could not recommend this movie enough. I think it is definitely one of the better live action remakes that have come out. I still don't know if I like Aladdin better. I think when this movie comes out, I'll have to watch both of them and make a decision. But this is like pretty darn close to how much I loved Aladdin. When Aladdin came out, I literally like had no problem at all going to see it multiple times. I saw that movie 3 times in theaters because I loved it. I feel similar to this movie like I felt about Aladdin. Like, I'm like, hey, who's out there who hasn't seen The Little Mermaid yet? You want to be my friend and go see it? I really recommend this. I think it is so beautifully done. The actors in this movie are so amazing. Halle Bailey was so perfect in this movie. I can't even begin to describe like how I feel about her in this film, because I think she just did such a fantastic job. And I think it is so great to see such an iconic character portrayed in like a different way to like represent so many other people and little girls out there who haven't felt this representation before. I think it is so incredible that they now have this princess to look at and like look up to and like feel like they can be like kind of part of her in a way because they like maybe look the same or something. I love this movie. Please go see it. I think it is so good and so worth your time. If you love Disney movies and you love princess movies and stuff, I think it is so well done, and I loved it, and I really want to go see it again. So that is going to be it for now. I didn't say any really spoilers or anything because I mean there's not really much difference between, well, there is one change. It's like the same thing, they just change one thing around from the animated to the live action, and I think a lot of people will really appreciate that change that they do. So that's one thing that I could talk about, but for the most part it's pretty dang similar to the original, which I really liked. So I don't really have much to say spoiler wise, but anyway, that is going to be it for now. I recommend this movie. I think it was really good, and I hope if you do go see it, you like it as well. So that is going to be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. I post new videos every single Friday, and I would love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you later. Bye everybody.